when we talk about inheritance, not all assets are created equal. There's good assets to inherit and there's bad assets to inherit. Right? Well, what are some of the good assets to inherit? Well, cash is king. Anything that's cash, bank accounts, savings accounts, you know exactly what it's worth. It's easy to divide based on your will. Most cash is after tax, and that's another thing. Am I inheriting a pre-tax account or am I inheriting a post-tax account? I rather inherit your $100,000 savings account versus your $100,000 IRA. Well, your $100,000 savings account don't cost me anything in taxes, but if I take money out of your IRA and I inherit it, I got to pay tax on it. So if you have one child inherits a $100,000 savings account, another child inherits your $100,000 IRA, that is not equal distribution. You're screwing one of your kids. Life insurance, cash value, is one thing that's non-taxable, easy to distribute. You know, on your life insurance, my two children split 50-50. Very easy to get that money, provided death certificate, cash comes your way, 50-50, no taxes. Brokerage accounts, another good thing to inherit. You have securities in there, they have a valuation, they're easy to liquidate. If it's not an IRA account, again, it's tax-free. If you have capital gains in, say your father bought Apple and IBM and Microsoft 40 years ago, never sold it. Paid $25 a share, now it's $200 a share. Well, if you inherit that, you get what's called a stepped-up cost basis, meaning if you sell it shortly thereafter, the cost is the value at the date of his death. You have no capital gains tax. So you want to inherit a brokerage account. You want to inherit dad's stocks. Good thing to inherit. A Roth IRA. I want to inherit a Roth IRA. I don't want to inherit a traditional IRA. Roth IRAs are tax-free. Traditional IRAs, I got to pay tax when I take the money out. Now, what are bad things to inherit? Well, like I said before, any taxable account. How about a timeshare? That's the worst thing to inherit. A timeshare where you have to pay annual maintenance fees. You may not even like it. They're hard to get out of. Don't ever leave a timeshare to your kids. If they want to keep it afterwards, they'll decide who wants it and who wants to take it over. But if you don't put it in your will, it'll die. They're hard to get out of, these timeshare contracts. I had a number of timeshares in my life. Not the best thing I ever did. Collectibles. That's another thing. Nobody really knows the value of these things. Old antiques, some coins, rare coins. Now look, I'd rather inherit than not inherit it, but it's not the best thing. Another thing that you don't want to inherit, guns. Laws are so tight in different states, New Jersey here being one of them. I mean, if you inherit a gun, you have to have registration, permits, all that kind of stuff. And if you have guns and you die, you got a big problem. A lot of times the kids will have to take the guns. They have like a certain number of days to do something with these guns, or they have to turn them into the police to hold them. Another thing you don't want to bequeath to people without talking to them is sentimental items, as I said earlier. That is something that really they're going to fight over. So put it on a list of things that you want certain ones to have so they don't fight over that. Real important. End-of-life planning, we spent a lot of time on it in the first hour here. It's such an important subject. I even talked about the mistakes people make in estate planning last week. I'm seeing more and more of it happening where people do make mistakes, and those mistakes are costly. I had a client, unbeknownst to me, he got cancer. He gifted his house. He went to an attorney. He gifted his house, a shore house he had in Lavalette, to his children. feeling that it would start a 5-year look-back period. If he was to go to a nursing home, that asset would be exempt, and he protected the estate. Well, the problem is, first he died 3 months later and never stepped foot into a nursing home. And he paid $40,000 for the place in 1947, and it was worth $800,000 when he died. Because he gifted the property to the kids, they don't get a stepped-up cost basis. They had to pay capital gains tax on $750,000, and that cost well over $100,000 in taxes. If he would have talked to me, I would have talked him out of doing it, and we would have saved a lot of money. So get advice. It's real important that you get advice when you do these things. Yeah, if you're so cheap that you don't want to pay a lawyer or a financial planner to work with you, well, it's going to cost your family so much more money if you make an irrevocable mistake. And that's the thing. Sometimes you can't reverse these things. Say you did gift a property or something, and you find out from an accountant or a financial planner that that was a bad move. Well, then you are stuck with it. You can't go back and change it at that time. All right, top of the hour. If you're on the line, stay right there. If you want to get on the line, the phone number here is 732-237-9626. My name is Lou Scatigna. You're listening to The Financial Physician. See you after the break.